this is Nate Ortiz, and this is Walking in Power, and I want to share a word to you about God doing something new. One of the things I see amongst people who are following after Christ is there's this need to be comfortable. I think if we are honest, there's areas of our life that we all like to be comfortable, and no one likes to be uncomfortable. Obviously, there's levels where you're training or different things where you're uncomfortable, but there's parts of our lives we say, I just want this part just to be the thing that I can count on, that's consistent, that I feel like is just a safe place for me. And sometimes if we let being comfortable begin to slide in other areas of our lives, we begin to remove the fact that God is doing new things in our lives. There's new things that are happening that we might miss out on because we like to be comfortable. People like sitting in the same seat when they go to church, or some people like doing the same routine when they get home from work, or whatever it might be. But when you walk with God, you have to understand that God isn't just wrapped up in routines, and God's not concerned about us just living a life that's saying that it's predictable and you understand what you're getting. But God is more interested in us living a life that is new, that is trusting in Him. And I think in Isaiah 43, it talks about, in verse 18, it talks about, behold, that God is doing a new thing. That it says, don't look at the former things, but look at the things that God's doing right now in our lives. And when we think about us being comfortable, we think about the past, we think about things that we're used to, that we put our hands on, our experience that we can rely on. I can tell you that when God's doing new things in your lives, He obviously doesn't refer to things of the past. He's always moving forward. And when you are saying to the Lord, like, my life is open, I want to be used by you, you have to understand that you have to let go of former ways of thinking, old habits, old friends, old lifestyles, all those types of things, so you can really line yourself up to be everything that God has called you to be. So here's my question to you. When you are letting things go, when you are pushing yourself out of the comfort zone, especially in resulting into your faith, what does it look like for you? I think there's three things that I would say that it should look like when you're saying, God, I want to move out of the comfortable. I want to do something new for you. I think the first thing is you have to let go of your past. Sometimes that's just asking God to heal things from your past, or even help reconcile. You may not get certain healing that you want from your past, but you have to say, God, I knew that was a terrible situation that happened to me back there, but I know you're moving me forward. I can't change the past. I can only move on forward from it. So God, help me to understand that what happened in the past, I cannot change. But Lord, you can take that and use it in my life now. That can help someone else who's going through a difficult time. I could really bring change or hope to someone, saying, look, I went through something like that, but I've come out on the other side. I've been tried by the fire, but I'm standing here to tell you and testify of God's goodness in my life. So don't always replay the tape in your mind thinking that healing is going to come or things are going to change. But when it comes to your past, you have to let that go and give that to God. The second thing I would say is when you let go of your past, you have to understand what's in front of you. When you look at what's in front of you, you have to think about marriages, relationships, work, your faith, what's going on around you right now. These are things that are actively happening in real time. How are you with your spouse? How are you with your kids? Are you spending time with them? How are things at work? Are you a high producer? Are you doing things with excellence at everything you put your hand to? Sometimes people don't like to think about the now. It makes them feel uncomfortable. It makes them feel like, well, I don't like where I'm at, and nothing's going to change until you make the decision today to do something about it. Your relationship with people is not going to change. Your faith is not going to grow if you're looking for comfort, because you will not find comfort in these moments. But what you will have the opportunity to do is to lean into God. You will have the opportunity to say, Lord, help me to see things the way that you see them. Help me to understand, to get your vision, to get your eye on the situation. I think the toughest thing is that in this life, we look at the things around us and we often have an earthly perspective on things. But I think what God is telling us is He wants us to get a heavenly perspective on earthly situations. That we have to understand that the things that are happening to us are not just happening to us just for no reason. But I think that's where we have to lean to our faith, saying, God, I know there's chaos around me, but allow me to see what you are seeing. Even in the midst of difficulties, even in the midst of victories and good things, help me to understand so I can live my life for you and impact people around me. And I think the third thing, when we are thinking about God doing new things in our lives, we let go of the past, we focus on the now, but then we look to the future. At the book Stephen Covey, 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, he often talks about beginning with the end in mind. Who are you becoming? What are you doing with your life? You know, the things that we do now are going to affect our future. But when we think about our future, what do we see? Maybe take a moment even now to close your eyes and just picture, what do you see when you think about your marriage, or you think about kids, or you think about your profession? What do you see? What do you see when you're old? Who's around you? I remember I was watching a show one time, and this father figure was in the hospital and he was sick, and he told his wife, say, hey, tell the family to come around. I remember it was such a wonderful picture as his kids and his grandkids and they're all gathering around his hospital bed. I thought, what a picture. I feel like in my life, I feel like I want to be the type of person that has people around me, has family around me, and that they want to be there. And they say, you know, my dad or my husband or my friend, like that, he was a good person who loved the Lord and didn't waver in his faith. These things that we think about in the future, they begin with decisions we make now. So that future self that you want to become, or those visions that you may have, ask God, say, God, help me to become, you know, the best version of myself now, so I can really be proud of who I am in the future. Don't just feel like one day it's magically going to happen. It's not magically going to happen. It's not just going to just take place because you're a good person, but it takes time, day by day, moment by moment, moving towards that future goal that God has called you to. So wherever you are, behold, God is doing a new thing, as it says in 43. Behold, God is doing a new thing. All things are, like, former things are gone. Lean into him. Don't hold on to things that make you feel comfortable. Don't do the same routine just because that's what you know. But ask God in your life, wherever you are right now, whether you feel far from him or close to him, ask him to do a new thing, even when you feel like you don't deserve it. God is faithful. Lean into him. It's not too late to make changes in your life. It's not too late to break habits. It's never too late for those things with God. But come with a genuine heart, a heart that says, God, I want to honor you. I want to live for you. Help me to be the very best version of who you called me to be. And he'll come through every single time.